Hey there, welcome to another episode of Football Everyday, coming to you live and direct from the studios here at Menara Star in PJ. It is, of course, the Euro 2012 edition. I'm Nelsen, and joining me today, Zack Yusof, Shaun Orange, and I tell you a very special guest, Mr. Sheldon Xavier. Bro, good to see you. Thanks for joining us
Thank you for
on the
having
show
me.
today. I mean, taking time off from your busy schedule. Well, Sheldon is, of course, in case you don't know, he is the head of football development over at Football Focus, and I believe an ardent Scotland and Steven Gerrard fan, right?
It's
right,
a complicated connection there for you, Sheldon.
It's a kind of a mixed thing, right? Scotland and England, well, not really England, but more Stevie G. I mean, you've been following football, of course, over the past month.
I mean, football has been a passion. I've always been a fan of football since the early days when I started to crawl. So obviously, I mean, I've been following Liverpool all my life as well, and through the thick and thin, 20 years of suffering, but still being an ardent Liverpool fan. England, having a soft spot for them when it comes to international tournaments, because Scotland, my favourite team, will never make it.
But you enjoyed the Euros so far?
Yeah,
Sheldon?
it's been great. I mean, there's been a lot of goals compared to the one in the year 2000. So there's been a lot of dramas as well. Predictable, you see the likes of Germany, Italy, Spain, making the last four. Disappointing game against with England against Italy yesterday. I mean,
well, we're gonna get into it, right?
So exactly. I mean, so we know the fourth quarterfinal in Euro 2012 took place this morning, and England are out courtesy of yet another penalty shootout defeat. This time to Cesare Prandelli's Italy. Zack, I mean, as an England fan, surely you'd be disappointed at the deficiency of the English in putting away penalties on the big stage, Zack.
Yeah.
It's happened time and time again now, right?
I was telling the lads before the show, we would blame Stuart Pearce, Chris Waddle. If they're watching, guys, come on, you cursed England. Since 1990, I can't remember. Okay, there was one against Spain, which Pearce put away a couple of years after 1990. But ever since then, it's been disaster. I don't know, when Montelivio missed,
You thought it was
all
going to go the
England
way
fans
of the
had a
English,
glimmer of hope, and we were saying, like, if England were Germans, they would have sensed blood at that very point in time and settle the game. But England being England.
But Zack, you caught the match, right? I mean, before you went to the penalty shootout, you were saying that England had their fair share of chances as well.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, the stats will tell you otherwise. You say it's really, I think Italy's got 35 chances or something. But, in that game, if you watched it, England really had enough chances to, if they were as efficient as the Greeks, let's say, they might have scored, Shaun, you agree with me, right?
Yeah, well, I'll agree with you. Well, what surprised me about the England performance was particularly, not immediately after the second half started, but as it wore on us, I felt like that they were actually playing for a draw. And that surprised me. Yes, I know Hodgson has got this thing about being defensive and all. But they appeared that they had a good chance to actually win the game in regulation.
And they should have gone for it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, well, Sheldon, you're a Stevie G fan, as we said earlier. But I think Andrea Pirlo ran the show in midfield yesterday. As we know, he is that type of class player. But I mean, Roy Hodgson said before the match that he wasn't worried about penalties. But it's all too familiar, right, for England?
Well, you come to the stage where it's a knockout, and obviously you got to be prepared for penalties, isn't it? But let's not take credit away from the Italians. And you mentioned about Pirlo. Well, there's a lot of tears on the pillow at the moment for the English fans. But how do you prepare for penalties? That's a big question.
Yeah, they were saying, in training, England didn't miss a penalty.
Right.
But who cares, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I could
That's
score.
training, right?
You can score all day long in training, and it's whether or not you can do it in front of a crowd.
Look at how Pirlo took that penalty, right?
Yeah, that was cheeky.
And it surprised me,
and he needed to score at that time.
Joe Hart was just trying to rally him off. But obviously, I mean, the man has got a lot of experience, composure, and all that. And no one would actually do that in the major.
At that crucial stage as well.
Maybe Zidane.
Yeah,
but
I think I saw Zidane do that.
You see what happens sometimes is if it doesn't come off, if Mario Balotelli had done that and it didn't come off, then there'd have been a big problem. You see,
he would have been vilified.
I don't know if that was the right thing to do. Yes, it came off, and they did eventually win the penalty.
The personal ego coming to the surface.
I think it's just an Italian thing. I remember some time back, Totti tried that, and he just felt miserable.
But psychologically, if you try a penalty like that in that pressure cooker situation, it comes off. Psychologically, it says to the other team, we're in control of this situation.
Well, when you mentioned psychology, I mean,
you know what I mean?
The fact that Mario Balotelli...
I'm sure that was what's running through Pirlo's mind. He's not going to
Right. I mean, well, Shaun, before we close up the first segment, I'm going into the tournament. You fancy that England might actually, win the whole thing. I mean, so your assessment of yesterday's result and their performance on the whole, now that they're out in the quarterfinal stage?
Well, of course, I'm disappointed that they haven't got to the semis. I thought they'd at least get to the semis. And this is despite them not being given much of a chance before the tournament started. Well, what do I think of it overall? I think it's been a good outing for them because we have got to always remember that Watson has only taken over on the 1st of May.
Yep.
And we're not even 2 months into
his sixth game in charge.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So I don't think anybody should get carried away with like they've done badly or they've done too good.
I mean, they did top the group unexpectedly, right?
I think so.
All right, so hold on to your thoughts. Thanks a lot. Well, it is time for our customary break here on the show. We'll be right back with more chat and banter, as well as a preview of what Sheldon will be up to in the next couple of days. So, well, we wish we were him.
Yeah.
Anyway, more of that in the next segment of Football Every Day. We'll see you real soon. Stay tuned.
So how long is the visit?
Thanks for joining us here on the second segment of Football Every Day with me, Shaun, Zack, and of course our special guest, Sheldon Xavier, who is of course the head of football development over at Football Focus, right, Sheldon? So Zack, I believe you've got, you want to find out a bit more about what he does on a daily basis.
I understand you guys got some involvement with Spurs. It sounds very exciting. Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, Tottenham is one of our portfolio projects. We're partners with them for about 2 years now, and then we're hoping to renew the contract as well. And our task is to actually bring their football development projects over here in Malaysia as well as in Asia.
Yeah.
To allow kids to actually experience academy-style training with the Tottenham Academy team.
Cool. These are local kids, eh?
Yeah. Wow.
Well, what I would have asked, being a Tottenham fan if I was one, excuse me, is when are they coming here to Kuala Lumpur?
Well, unfortunately, they're going to the States for the tour this summer. But I'm sure,
they should make a trip down. I think there is an increasing number of Spurs fans.
Well, there's been a lot of interest, to be honest. I mean, we talk about Tottenham, obviously we're talking to dads and uncles and all that. Not many young kids would actually support Spurs. Of course, the usual suspects will be your Man United, the Chelsea, Liverpool.
The older ones, of course, we remember Ozzy Ardiles.
But Tottenham, I mean, they're very well, they know very well that there's a market and there's a lot of fan base over here as well. So I'm sure they're looking to that.
We got one more question now. So the quality of the kids, I'm intrigued, right, Sheldon? Are there some tasty prospects that maybe could make it,
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, through the experience, I mean, we've just come back from Moscow as well. We were there for a program, and we work from kids age 6 onwards to about 14 or 15 years old, and some of the kids are actually training at professional clubs. Like, we've trained up a kid who's actually training with Dynamo Moscow at one of the time. So there's a lot of great talent out there, and don't be fooled. Even here, the local kids, they've got the ability and the talent. So they just need the exposure.
I mean, if Zack wasn't with the Star, he'd be
mate. I'm only in my mid-20s, so I've still got time, mate. Anytime you need me to play, get my boots, I'm your man.
I mean, Sheldon, well, aside from football development, which you do on a daily basis, I believe you're also a really ardent football fan, right? As proven, I think Zack's been telling us that you're one of the 100 Real Fans contest that was recently organised by Carlsberg. You're one of the winners of the 100 Real Fans contest who will be going to catch the semi-final between Portugal and Spain in tomorrow, right?
Shocking.
Tell us a bit more about that. I mean, how did that happen, and how did you become one of the lucky ones?
Yeah,
how do you rig the competition?
Well, I mean, all thanks to Carlsberg. I mean, when I saw the opportunity, I thought, what I needed to do was actually submit a video myself, being a real tough football fan. So I just did that, and I had to get an amount of votes, and I think it was based on creativity as well, which actually got me that position. So so off to Donetsk, Ukraine tomorrow.
You'll be flying off tomorrow night, I believe?
Tomorrow night with 100 other fans.
So you're looking forward to Portugal versus Spain? I mean, it can't get any bigger, right?
Well, given the choice, I would have preferred to watch England, but the Iberian Classic of Portugal and Spain, it will be a mouth-watering.
You're going to be sat next to Michel Platini.
Right.
Are you?
Well, I'm hoping to see Shakira since Spain is there.
Shakira's going to be sat next to me, man.
Hey, building up to the game, I know, and after dumping the French, Xabi Alonso says he's now ready to send club teammate Cristiano Ronaldo home. The next one home, of course. So the Spanish are brimming with confidence, do you think, Zach?
They should be, because I really feel that, things are going great for the Spanish. I'm very jealous as an England fan. You know, they've been picking up momentum. We talked about the clean sheets are starting to come also. So they got the defensive solidity to go with all that false number 9. They can throw in another 8 midfielders. You know, no one's going to be able to beat them.
Right.
But
I don't know. I personally, I think I've seen enough of Spain play in this tournament to believe that they can be beaten.
So you want to? You're hoping Portugal,
but not by any team in the current.
Oh well, I don't know if they play Germany. If they will beat Germany.
I mean, well, those are Xabi Alonso's thoughts. I mean, Shaun, the rest of the Spanish squad, I believe that it'll not only be Ronaldo whom they will have to keep quiet. I mean, as the whole team, they feel can potentially be a danger on their day. So, I mean, would you agree?
Oh,
I mean, you just said that you think they are there to be beaten, right?
Yeah, I would like to think that they could win. Whether they will win or not is another matter, because I think Spain are in a zone whereby the teams treat them like how Manchester United used to get treated.
Right.
You get beat before you play. So I think what Portugal need to do is just like kind of believe in themselves. I think Ronaldo needs to take the lead and influence, or at least to bring to bear enough influence on his teammates to go out and give Spain a run. Yeah.
I mean, Sheldon, very quickly. I mean, how would you rate the chances of both teams?
Well, it's going to be pulsating. I mean, even though Spain has not played the striker in the first round of the group games, but with Torres there and 6-man midfield Spanish side, the Armada going against a Portugal side, and Ronaldo being on form at the moment, you're going to see a cracker. Lots of goals, a lot of quality entertainment for the fans.
All right. Well, nicely summarized. We'll be back tomorrow, of course, same time, same place, to talk about that game as well as the next one between Germany and Italy. Well, that's about all the time we have on today's show. Shaun, Zach, and Sheldon, thanks again for taking the time to be here today.
You got to swap jerseys now.
No chance of putting that on.
Not
it's the respect campaign, dude. Or maybe swap with Shaun.
All right. Well, those are former Euro winners, mate.
Yes. Yeah. I like the kit.
Champions.
All right. Pleasure as usual. Thanks a lot for watching us here on Football Everyday. If you want to drop us a line, send it to us at football@thestar.com.my. Till we see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. It's ciao from us on Football Everyday.
Should I hit the ball? Oh, it's good.